Good morning to everybody. Hope you are doing well today. We are at the next game in the June 30th replay. Second game, actually. Obviously, one game behind due to my technical issues earlier in the week, but we will catch up. It is the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays from Toronto. It will be the major league debut of a young left-hander named David Wells. He does not do well in real world. He goes 4 innings, gives up 4 runs, takes the loss as the Yankees beat Toronto 4-0. But this is his major league debut. In the '87 season, he went 4-3 with a 3.99 ERA. Only 2 starts. He pitched mostly out of the bullpen. Did have 1 save. Yankees come in this game 42-34. Toronto comes in 46-28. Yankees did make 1 roster move. They have called up utility infielder Paul Zuvella from the minor leagues, Columbus, and sent down Henry Cotto. So Henry Cotto has taken the train back to Columbus, or the bus, or whatever, And so June 30th, game number 522, we're in Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. One of the 4 fields in the American League. You had the Metrodome and Kingdome, 2 domes. They were obviously turf. And then Kansas City was turf. But then Exhibition Stadium was the other one for turf. It is symmetrical, so singles are 1-9, home runs are 1-11. David Wells, of course, making his major league debut. He has a good hold on holding base runners, -3. So even the +2 from Charlie Moore will still give him a -1. However, there's actually an error on his card. You see here it says wild pitch 30. That should be 20, but it is a 20 wild pitch rating. I confirmed it on the computer. It is a 20 wild pitch rating for him. No balk, but a 20 wild pitch rating. And then we'll look at Ron Guidry in the bottom half of the first, once we get everything set up on the computer here. Good morning, Ben, Dr. D, and Philip. So we will get things going as soon as I get the Strat computer up in the system. And looks like we got that here. So Ricky Henderson will be leading things off for the Yankees, recently coming back off the disabled list. On the replay, he's hitting .323, 9 homers, 29 driven in, and he hit .291 real world. And, of course, before the first pitch is thrown, we have the ceremonial first sip. That tradition is not going anywhere. And we're ready to go. Ricky Henderson to start us off. We get a 5-6. 5-6 on Wells as a base on balls. That's not something you want to do with Ricky. Although Wells is a -1 hold, which isn't that great. Charlie Moore can be run on. So Ricky Henderson's going to try to get the lead. Needs a 6 or a 7. Nothing on that. So 6 or 7. He gets the lead. He's going to go. He's a 19, being held as a 17. -1 is a 16. 1-16, and Ricky Henderson will not only walk to start the game, but he will steal second to go with it. And if we look at Henderson's stolen base numbers, both real world and replay, we'll see how he's doing, or how we're doing on the replay. Ricky in real season stole 41 bases, got caught 8 times. On the replay, stolen 15 bases, already been caught 9 times. So we're hoping he doesn't get caught again, or he's caught stealing is going to be way up there. So anyway, just as a recap, 19 being held as a 17, -1 is a 16. 1-16, the T rating on Moore is a 13, so he's still going to throw through, but there is a risk if a 1, 2, or 3 comes up that this will come into play. But the big number is 16. Got to be 16 or less. And it is. So stolen base for Ricky Henderson. That is his 10th stolen base of the replay. I'm sorry, his 16th stolen base of the replay. Has been caught 9 times, but that is stolen base number 16. Sweet 16 for Ricky Henderson. And he is in scoring position with nobody out for Willie Randolph, old man Willie. Willie is hitting .270 on the replay, 3 homers, 28 driven in. He hit .305 real world. That's a 1. So obviously it's a wild pitch automatically for David Wells. So just like that, Ricky Henderson walks and all of a sudden is on third base with nobody out. Infield is back. They'll surrender a run. They need outs. They want to prevent a big inning. 5-9. That's a strikeout for Wells, so that will certainly help the cause. Now with one out, they're going to bring the infield in to face O-Matic Baseball, Don Mattingly. Mattingly on the replay is hitting .304, 9 homers, 31 driven in. He hit .327 real world. Infield is in. 2-8 for Mattingly. Lines it to first base, snagged over there by Upshaw. And now Wells, one out away from getting out of the mess that Ricky Henderson and himself put himself in. And he's got to get through Mr. May, Dave Winfield, in a clutch situation, no less. Winfield in the clutch gains one hit on 1-3, and that's it. On the replay, Winfield is hitting .259, 17 homers, 47 driven in. He hit .275 in the real season. Wells one out away from getting out of the jam. That's a 1-5. That's a ballpark blast for Winfield. It's a 1-11. We got a 2-run homer. 12 or higher, it's just a meaningless fly ball. And that is gone. Dave Winfield comes through. Mr. May coming through in June, a 2-run home run from Winfield. That is his 18th home run of the replay. He had 27 of them real world. That's 18th home run, RBIs 48 and 49. And the Yankees take a 2-0 lead on the ballpark blast. And that'll turn it over to Gary Ward, who's playing center field in this one. Ward hitting .211 on the replay, 7 homers, 28 driven in. He hit .248 real world. 3-10, and that's a ground ball to short. Fernandez will make the play, but the 2-run home run from Dave Winfield has given the Yankees a 2-0 lead and given Guidry a 2-0 lead to work with before he even takes the mound. Nice to have a lead before you even start. So we'll look at Ron Guidry, both on the replay and real world. Look at Ron Guidry's numbers. For Guidry, 5-8 with a .367 earned run average. And on the real season, that's on the real season. On the replay, he hasn't done very well. He's 1-2 with an ERA of 7.22. 29 innings pitched, 36 hits, 12 walks, 21 strikeouts. Of course, he won this game real world by shutting out Toronto. I believe he went 7. He might have went 7 innings. I'm not sure. I didn't remember the box score completely, but obviously got the win. And Tony Fernandez, the shortstop, will lead us off. He's hitting .332 on the replay. 3 homers, 26 driven in. He's hitting .332 on the replay, I should say. 3 homers, 26 driven in. He hit .322 real world. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Hit a 5-6 off of Guidry. That's a strikeout. Good way to start if you're Guidry. Good idea to keep Fernandez off the bases. That'll bring up Lloyd Mosby, center fielder, lefty on lefty matchup. Mosby hitting .333 on the replay, 19 homers, 64 driven in. He hit .282 real world. 4-7 for Guidry, and that's a walk. So he started out with a strikeout and now a walk. Guidry is a +1 hold. He's a +2, but then you got -1 from Cerrone. So Mosby looking to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 5 to get that lead. If he gets the lead, he's almost guaranteed to steal. Nope, doesn't get the lead, so he holds. And here's Jesse Barfield. Barfield hitting .331. His 29 homers lead the league in home runs. Lead the replay in home runs. 29 homers, 73 driven in. He hit .263 real world. Guidry to Barfield. That is a 1-7, and that's a 1-12 home run. This could be Barfield's 30th home run of the replay right here. It's a 1-10, so we got it's a 1-7, so we got a 1-12 home run. 1-12, and it's gone. And it's gone. Jesse Barfield has just tied the game with a 2-run home run. 2-run home run from Jesse Barfield, his 30th of the replay. He has now surpassed his season total in real world in the replay, and he's only had 291 at bats. He's got another 300 at bats to go to match his replay to match his real world total. So he could end up hitting 50 home runs the way he's going. And we are tied at 2. Hello, Jeremiah. And that's right, Ben. I remember you saying you had the day off today. I remember you saying that. But Barfield, I'm telling you what, he's just making mincemeat of this American League, making a joke out of the American League with all these home runs. 30th home run already, and we're only at June 30th. Amazing. Here's George Bell. Hits a guy hit 47 of them real world. In the replays, hitting 299, 25 homers, 70 driven in. He hit 308 real world. Guidry 1-3, and that's a strikeout for Guidry, so it's kind of feast or famine for Guidry. And that brings up Cecil Fielder. I'm just so happy that, and I actually ended up canceling my Xfinity appointment that was scheduled for tomorrow because the internet now seems to be fine. So it's gone 24 hours now with no problems. So I'm going to assume whatever was happening before, maybe it was a weak signal coming in. They were doing some work down the road on the power line, so maybe something was going on with that. I don't know, but I thought at first it was a problem with the modem or something, but apparently that's not the case. All right, here's Cecil Fielder. Fielder hitting 291 on the replay, 15 homers, 27 driven in. He hit 269 real world. It's a 3-4, and that's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. So 2 2-run homers, one for each side, have tied the score at 2 at the end of 1 inning of play. Hello, Heiser. All right, so we go to the top of the second, and Wells will give it another go. Facing Ron Kittle, designated hitter for the Yankees. Kittle. Let's move these cards out of the way here. Kittle on the replay is hitting 307, 14 homers, 37 driven in. He had 277 real world. That's a 2-7 for Kittle, and that's a leadoff single for Ron Kittle. In the actual game, Wells went 4 innings, and that was it. And then they used Eichhorn for 3 and Lavelle for 2. Guidry went 7 2/3 real world, and Stoddard wrapped up. Finished it up. No save, but he finished off the game. So Eichhorn and Lavelle might be called on to stem the tide as well. All right, here is, and Kittle's no threat to run. Here's Rick Cerrone. Cerrone hitting 262 on the replay. 3 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 243 real world. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be another walk issued by Wells, his second. And he's in trouble again. First and second, nobody out, and here comes Mike Pagliarulo. Pagliarulo on the replay is hitting 253, 21 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 234 in the actual season. 2-6, lefty, and that is a fly to center field, 1 away. Mosby hauls it in. 1 down, and that'll take us to number 9 hitter, Wayne Tollison. Anybody came in late? Paul Zuvella was called up from Columbus, and Henry Cotto was sent down. So the Yankees do have 2 backup infielders, Meacham and Zuvella. A little bit more flexibility. So Tollison on the replay is hitting 240. 3 homers, 21 driven in. He at 221 real world. Switch hitter now will turn around bat right-handed against Wells. 5-5, and that's a single 1-16. 17-20, he grounds it to third. And that's an 18, so that's an interesting little, you don't usually see these kind of results on the cards that Strat-O-Matic produces, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I'm going to go with it anyway. You don't usually see a lot of ground ball third base C's. That's very rare to see that on here, but that's what we got on that result. The ground ball third base C on the D20 roll of 18. So it's a ground ball out to Kelly Gruber with both runners advancing. So 2 away. Runners in scoring position for Ricky Henderson in a clutch situation. Henderson in the clutch against the lefties will lose a couple of hits, 2-5, 2-6, and 1-3. So he's got a couple of areas there where he loses hits. Wells trying to get out of the jam as best he can. Got to get past Ricky. 4-10, right-handed. That's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-9. And that is a 9 right on the number. So Ricky Henderson comes through with a base hit. Kittle will score. Stopping at third is Cerrone. But the Yankees reclaim the lead 3-2. RBI single from Ricky, his 30th run batted in of the season. And now with runners at the corners, Ricky's going to be looking to run again. Needs a 6 or a 7. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. And here's Willie Randolph. 2 down and runners on the corners. A clutch situation for Randolph. And on a 1-3, he gains a hit. 6-3. And that is a fly ball left field X. We're looking at George Bell. He's a 2E13. 2 and an 8. I think he gets to that. 2 and an 8 is an F2. So it's a left fielder. He is an E13. So he's got to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. 11 barely avoids it, but he does. Makes the catch, but the Yankees take a 3-2 lead on an RBI single from Ricky Henderson. And we go to the bottom of the second, 3-2 Yankees. And Kelly Gruber will lead it off for the Blue Jays. Gruber on the replay, hitting 294, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He only hit 235 real world. Morning, Joel. Good to see you. 4-5, and that is going to be a split. One's a single. Anything else, he lines it to short. So that is lined right to Tollison. 1 away. 1 down, and here is Garth Orge. Orge hitting a measly 144 on the replay. No homers, 13 driven in. He hit 210 real world. 4-12, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollison. Tollison's a 3E22. So we'll check out what he did, or what he will do. 3 and a 20. Obviously, he's got that. E22 at short. He has to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18. So 6, 15, 17, and 18. And he does just that. So good play for Tollison. Throws out of Orge. 2 up, 2 down. Sending up Willie Upshaw, first baseman. Upshaw hitting 209 on the replay. 3 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 244 in the real season. 2-9 lefty against the lefty as a line out to Tollison. So Tollison took care of all 3 outs. And that's going to do it for the Jays. We go to the third inning, still 3-2 Yankees here in Toronto. So Upshaw lines it to short to end the inning. We start the top of the third. Wells back out. He's going to face Mattingly, Winfield, and Ward, heart of the order. Mattingly lined out his first time up. 3-6 for Mattingly. That's a base hit 1-18. So most likely will be, and it certainly is. So Mattingly gets the leadoff single. No threat to run, but he's on base. And here comes Winfield, who homered his first time up. Five, 6, and that's going to be another walk. Third walk issued by Wells. And again, the Yankees had the first 2 on base with nobody out. And Gary Ward, your batter. Toronto might be getting Eichhorn. Oh, now we got a spam call coming in. Eichhorn might be getting ready in the bullpen quicker than we think. 3-3 for Ward, and that's a fly ball to right. One away. And here's Ron Kittle, designated hitter. And it's something I didn't do the walk previously, so we fix this on the computer. Make sure give Winfield credit for his walk. And now Ward credit for the fly to right. So now Kittle is up. Kittle singled and scored his first time up. 5-5, and that is a single. That's the same thing we had recently here. We had a ground ball C, but a 1-16 is going to load the bases. And it does. So base hit Kittle is going to load the bases with one out for Rick Cerrone, the catcher. Infield will play for the double play. Cerrone is a double play candidate. That's a 3-7, and that's going to be a base hit. It would be anti-clutch if there were two outs, but there's only one out, so the base hit is good. Single to center. We'll see if it scores 2 runs. We know Winfield's going to score. I mean, we know Manley's going to score. Winfield, the trail runner, was not being held. Makes him a 17. Mosby's a 0 arm. So 1-17. They're going to send him. Kittle, the trail runner at first, is less than 13 speed, so he will hold at second base on the throw. He will not move up. But it's going to be a 1-17. He'll be safe, and he is. So 2-run single from Rick Cerrone, and this might be the beginning of the end for Wells, as it is now 5-2. And Wells will be coming up on fatigue here very shortly. He may only get 3 innings in this game as opposed to 4 he got in real world. Here's Pagliarulo. That's a 4-3, lefty-lefty. That's a ballpark single check, 1-9. And it was candid between 3 and 16, so I'm going to re-roll it again. And that's a 17, so that will be a line out to second base. And here is Tollison. Tollison in the clutch against a lefty, loses 2 hits right here, 2-9, 2-10. That's a 4-12, switch hitter batting right. Ground ball first base X. We're looking at Upshaw, 2E11. 2-10, he'll get to it. E11 as a first baseman. E11. E11, first baseman's got to avoid 6, 8, 15, 3, and 18. And that's a 12, so he's good to go. He will flip it to Wells covering to end the inning. But 2 more runs for the Yankees, and they lead it 5-2. Let's put this in the computer. 5-2 game. And up for the Jays, it'll be Charlie Moore, number 9 hitter. Number 9 hitter. Trail runner calculation. Well, Winfield runs at a 16. As a trail runner, he's not being held, which means you add 1 to his number to make it 17. And then the 0 arm from Mosby. That was the calculation right there. As far as the trail runners moving up, my personal house rule is that the speed of the runner has to be 13 or higher to move up. Since Kittle was only a 9, that means he did not move up. Had Kittle run at a 14 rating, then he would have taken 3rd on the throw. So that's basically how I play that. A little bit of home brew, but I think it's, in the spirit of the rules, I think it's still perfectly fine. So Guidry going to face Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore hitting him a robust 139 on the replay, just 36 at bat. So hard to judge on that. Homer and 3 driven in. He hit 215 real world. 110, and that's going to be a pop out to Tollison. One away. One down for Tony Fernandez. 1-9 for Fernandez. He gets a base hit. And he's going to be looking to run. Needs a 6 or a 7 to get a good lead. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. And here's Lloyd Mosby. There is no takeaway 5. I have no idea what he's talking about subtracting 5. That's not in the rule book. There is no subtracting 5. Here's Mosby. 5-12. That's a strikeout. And for Guidry, that's the 3rd strikeout. Here's Jesse Barfield. Barfield, a 3-9. And that's going to be a walk. Another walk by Guidry. Puts runners at first and second with 2 down. His second walk. And that's going to bring up George Bell. Clutch situation for Bell. 3-9 for Bell, and that's a ground ball to third to end the inning. All right, so we go to the top of the 4th, and we'll see how long Wells can last. They do have bullpen activity, does Toronto. Because they're not trusting Wells to go very long with this. Let's see who's rested in the bullpen. Or who's got the most rest. Nunez is certainly their long reliever. Eichhorn and Nunez both have decent rest, so we could go either way with that. Right now, Ricky Henderson's going to lead it off. He has walked and singled. 3-9 for Ricky. This time he grounds it to short. Good idea to keep him off the base paths if you are Toronto. That brings up Willie Randolph. 3-7, and that's a walk. Yet another walk for Wells. That is his 4th base on balls. It's going to get him into trouble for sure. That brings up Mattingly. Randolph will try to get a lead, but he needs a 3 in order to do so. Nope, can't get the lead. He'll hold. Here's Mattingly, rather. 2-9 for Mattingly. He's going to pop it up to Upshaw at first base. 2 down for Winfield. Winfield has homered and walked. 3-9, and that's another walk. Boy, 5th walk issued by Wells. And that brings up Gary Ward. It is now a clutch situation for Gary Ward. In the clutch against lefties, he gains a hit, 3-4. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the pass ball rating on Moore, which is a 5. No pass ball. 3-11. 3-11 is a ground ball to third. And that ends the inning. So Wells makes it through 4 innings. And I think that's going to be it for Wells. We're going to do just what they did in real world and cap him at 4 innings. Except we're going to use Jose Nunez in the bullpen and not Eichhorn. Jose Nunez will be the new pitcher. Wells will go 4 innings. Going to give up 5 hits and 5 runs, all of which were earned. 5 seems to be a magic number because he also walked 5. Striking out only 1. So not the best of outings. And Jose Nunez will be the new pitcher in the 5th inning. Brings up Cecil Fielder. 6-6. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4. Guidry with that 5-2 lead. Here's Gruber. 5-3. It's ground ball first base X Mattingly. It's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at the E6 as a first baseman. His only errors are 3, 13, and 18. He's got to avoid those numbers. And he barely does with the 12, but he gets to it, and he will flip to Guidry covering to end, or not to end the inning, but to get Gruber out for out number 2. And here comes Garth Orge. 4-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollison. 3 E22, 3 and a 13 is good. E22 at short. He has to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18. That's a 5. It's a rare play. With nobody on base, they're never rare plays. We just ignore them because there's nothing there. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 5th. Still 5-2. And new pitcher Jose Nunez. Jose Nunez. In my example, did not have any cutoffs involved, so that's why I didn't have a -5 in there. Playing solitaire is kind of hard to do both sides and do the cut and all that stuff. I just make a determination whether the throw goes through or not. I never cut the throw because I'm not going to penalize the offensive team and automatically get the guy out. I'm not doing that. That's something I do against the computer, but not head-to-head against myself. If I don't think I can get the guy at the lead runner, I don't throw it. I automatically throw it to the cutoff man. All right, so here is Ron Kittle against Jose Nunez. Nunez on the real season, 5-2 with a 5.01 ERA. You probably did, Jeremiah. It was a base hit with the bases loaded. Base hit to center field. Winfield, the trailing runner, was not being held, so it went from a 16 to a 17, 0 arm, and so the throw through went 1-17. Ron Kittle, the guy at first base, by my homebrew, I only allow him to move up on an overthrow if the number here is 13 or higher. Since that number is not 13 or higher, we went ahead and threw through to the plate. Had it been playing technically by the book, I would have cut the throw and allowed the run to score because the odds weren't there. But since my homebrew keeps him here on a 13 or less, there was no risk to throw home. Had I thrown home under the textbook rules, yes, he would have moved up because I didn't cut the throw, but I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't have thrown through because 1-17 are not good odds. You've only been out on 18, 19, or 20. So that case, most people have thrown into second and held Kittle there. So that's hopefully that explains why I did what I did. Hopefully. All right, we'll go to the bullpen for Jose Nunez. Get his numbers on the replay as well as real world. So Nunez, 5-2 with a 5.01 ERA real world. On the replays, 0-2 with an ERA of 8.92. He's really been horrible, quite honestly. 38 innings pitched, 49 hits, 32 walks, 47 strikeouts. All right, so Ron Kittle will be the first one for Nunez to go after. 4-8, and that's a strikeout. So he gets the strikeout. Good start for Nunez. Rick Cerrone, catcher. 3-11 for Nunez, and that's a strikeout plus injury, so it's a chance that Cerrone could have to leave this game. So Cerrone, let's see here. 1 to 7, he has, or 1 to 6, he can stay in. 7 or higher, he's got to leave. So he can stay in. He fought off the injury. And he'll gut it out and keep going. And here's Mike Pagliarulo. 5'8", left-handed, and that is a ground ball second base X and more. Oh, I got a call from Washington State. Who the hell would be calling me from Washington State? I have no idea. I've been getting a ton of spam calls lately. I don't know what the deal is with that. Now I just lost my place of where I was. 5'8". Oh, it's the ground ball second base X to Orge. He's a 420. He'll get to that. So it's a second baseman, E13. He's got to avoid 14, 3, and 18. And he does just that. And Orge will make the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Nunez. Go to the bottom of the fifth, still 5-2. I've been getting a whole lot of spam type calls, people wanting me to refinance the house and all this other baloney. It's just weird. All right, here is Willie Upshaw. Upshaw, first baseman. 3-8 for Upshaw. That's a ground ball to second, one away. And I'm supposed to be getting the extra players for the Strat 2025 set coming in today. Supposed to get here sometime today from the Barnes & Noble's purchase I made. Just got to figure out if I want to do anything with 2025. I don't know if people care to see modern seasons on YouTube or not. Here's Charlie Moore, 410. And that's an in-home run chance, 1 to an 11. 1 to an 11, 12 to 20 would be a triple. That's a 14, but we're not going to give Charlie Moore a triple. Actually, he did have one triple real world, so we will give it to him. He actually did have a triple real world, so we'll give him the triple. How about that? Charlie Moore legs out a triple. He did have one triple real world. And this is the triple he gets. So he's at third with one out for Tony Fernandez. Infield is back. 5-9. Fly ball center field B. That's a sacrifice fly. And that will cut the lead to 5-3. Tony Fernandez, RBI number 27 on the sac fly. 2 outs, base is empty now. One run is in, though, for Lloyd Mosby. 1-6, lefty struck him out. That is the 5th strikeout for Guidry. But Toronto chipping away at the lead. After 5 innings of play, it's now 5-3. Second inning of work coming up for Jose Nunez. Tollison will lead it off. 5-7. 5-7 is a single 1-4. 5-20 he lines out, and he lines out to second base. Snagged by Orge. Flips the order over to Ricky. 1 for 2, single and a walk, stolen base and a run scored. 6-5, and that's a 1-19 double. And Ricky Henderson, a 1-out double. And that brings up Willie Randolph. Randolph 0 for 2 with a walk. One 4, and that's going to be a fly to center, 2 down. For Donnie Baseball in a clutch situation for Don Mattingly. In the clutch, he will gain a hit on 212 and 310. 6-8, and that's going to be a single to center field. I don't think there's any way they're going to get Ricky Henderson. He's a 17 with 2 outs. He's a 19. They weren't holding him on. It makes him a 20, so it's automatic. They're not even going to throw. They're just going to throw it into second base. Concede the run there. And it is 6-3 favor of the Yankees. RBI from Don Mattingly. That brings up Mr. Winfield. Winfield has homered and walked twice. 4-9, and that's a strikeout. A third strikeout for Nunez, actually. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. This will be, no, I'm sorry, Guidry's fatigue is the 7th, so he's still okay. He'll be facing Barfield, Bell, and Fielder, heart of the order for the Blue Jays. But he holds a 6-2 lead, or 6-3 lead. Barfield, 5-7, and that's a strikeout for Guidry, his 6th. So maybe Guidry is honing in on his target. Here's Bell, 5-9. That's a fly to center, 2 down. So he managed the 2 toughest hitters to get through. And I still got to get through Fielder. He's no prize either. 6-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. Winfield's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the error, and he is an E3. So the only errors are 3, 15, and 18. He just has to avoid 3, 15, and 18. And he does that very well. So that's a 1-2-3 inning for Guidry. We go to the 7th. It is still 6-3 favor of the Yankees. Nunez for probably his last inning. He has a fatigue of 3 in relief. So probably looking at his final inning, depending on how he pitches. He'll be facing Gary Ward, center fielder. 3-7 for Ward, and that's a strikeout. That's the 4th strikeout for Nunez, so he's done really well in this game. Got that ERA under 9 now, finally. Here's Kittle. 2-8 for Kittle, another strikeout, his 5th. And that'll send up Rick Cerrone, who fought off injury last time. 5-2, that's a base hit on a 1-10. He lines out 11-20. And that's a base hit for Cerrone, 2-out single. His 2nd hit of the game. He has no threat to steal, so he will hold. And here is Mike Pagliarulo. Pags is 0 for 3. 2-4. And he's going to be 0 for 4 with yet another strikeout by Nunez. So I think they might have Nunez go 1 more inning. He's pitched pretty well. 3 innings, only allowed 1 run. And he seems to be dialed in, so they're going to leave him out there. This is the fatigue inning for Ron Guidry as we head to the 7th inning stretch and beyond it. And he'll be facing Gruber, Orge, and Upshaw due up for the Jays. Let's see if I can get a little closer here. Whoa, too far. Whoa, it's supposed to go 1 spot, not like 20. Let's cap it right there, maybe. All right. Hopefully that will be good now. Here's Gruber. 4-8. And for Guidry, that's a 1-14 double. 15-20, he will single. And that's a double for Kelly Gruber. That's the first knock against Guidry's fatigue. Double for Gruber brings up Garth Orge. That's a 2-10, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9 will be a base hit. Otherwise, he pops to short. And that's a base hit. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. Now the Yankee bullpen. And the guy that was pitched in real world, Tim Stoddard, is loosening in the bullpen for the Yankees as we speak. Tim Stoddard. So a double and now a single. Puts runners at the corners with nobody out. And 1 more base runner, and Guidry will reach fatigue. Coming up on Willie Upshaw. Infield back for a double play. It's a 2-9 for Upshaw, and that is a line out to short. Snagged by Tollison, 1 away. So even the outs are getting hit hard. Brings up Charlie Moore, who tripled off of Guidry last time. But if you bring in the reliever, if you bring in Stoddard, then the Blue Jays will pinch hit with Ernie Witt. So they like this matchup better than the other. So they're going to let Guidry pitch to Moore despite the fact that he tripled last time. Infield still at double play depth. That's That's a 1-9, and he pops him up to second base. So Guidry, a line out and a pop out, just about gets him out of the inning. Does still have to deal with a good hitter in Tony Fernandez, though. Fernandez 1 for 2, a single and a sacrifice fly. It is a clutch situation for Fernandez, and in the clutch, he is rated completely neutral. 5-9, switch hitter batting right is a fly to center, and Guidry gets out of it. How about that? He got out of it. And we will go to the 8th inning. It is still 5-3. Stoddard has sat down. 5-3, top of the 8th. Nunez back out. Gary Lavelle is loosening in the bullpen for the Blue Jays in case Nunez starts to hit fatigue. We do have Gary Lavelle loosening in the bullpen. Right now, number 9 hitter Wayne Tollison is up to lead it off. Tollison on the game is 0 for 3. That's a 2-8 against the right-hander, and that's a single 1-14. Anything else, he lines to second, and that's a base hit for Tollison. Leadoff single for Tollison. He will not go anywhere. And here comes Ricky. That's a 1-9 for Ricky, and that's a walk. So Nunez just about done. His last batter is going to be Randolph. They will bring in Lavelle to face Mattingly. So Randolph is up. 4-9, and that is another strikeout for Nunez, but they're going to cap Nunez right there. With the lefty Mattingly coming up, they will make a move to the bullpen. Nunez will go 3 1/3 innings. Given up 1 run so far, but he is responsible for these 2. He did strike out 6, which was pretty impressive. 1 walk. They gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And coming on now is Gary Lavelle, the left-hander. He is a +1 hold, which makes him a +3. So Lavelle will face Mattingly. Look at the numbers on Lavelle. 2-3, 5.53 ERA, and a save in the real season. Let's see what he is here on the replay. On the replay, Gary Lavelle is 4-0. He's vultured some wins. No saves. A 5.68 ERA, 13 innings pitched, 14 hits, 10 walks, 11 strikeouts. So Lavelle facing Mattingly, hoping to induce a double play grounder that would get them out of the inning. That's a 2-9 for Mattingly, but he doesn't get the double play grounder, but he does get him to pop it up to Upshaw for out number 2. 2 down, clutch situation for Dave Winfield. In the clutch, 1-3, he gains that hit. That's a 2. We're looking at a balk chance on Lavelle. His balk rating is a 13. And Lavelle does, in fact, balk the runners over into scoring position. 2nd and 3rd. And now they're going to give the free pass to Winfield. With the runners being moved up, they want to set up a double play, so they will intentionally pass Winfield and go after Gary Ward. Ward's your batter. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the clutch for Ward. Let's see here. He gets 1 hit on 3-4. Everywhere else he is neutral. 3-11. It's a ground ball to third, and that'll end the inning. So the decision to walk Winfield ends up paying off. And now we can close the book on Nunez, just the 1 run. So Stoddard has picked up the ball and is tossing again, but Guidry's going to start the inning, at least against the left-hander Mosby. Might be bringing him in to face these righties. And the Yankees Let's see if they have any other moves up their sleeve. They are actually going to bring in Claudell Washington to play center field in place of Ward. Ward is a 4 rated outfielder with an E6. Claudell is a 3 with an E5. So Claudell Washington will take over in center field, and he is a 3 -1 E5. So Claudell Washington will take over as the new center fielder in the 8th inning, as they try to improve their defense just a little bit. And Guidry will start us off against Lloyd Moseby. And we need to bring Claudell on the computer, get him into the lineup. Guidry will be facing Moseby. Moseby 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Whoop, the white dot never made it through, so let's try it again. There we go, 6-12, interesting roll. And that is a ballpark blast on a 6-12, 1 to an 11. And that's gone. Lloyd Moseby, home run. And that's going to do it for Guidry right there. Home run from Moseby, his 20th of the replay. He had 26 real world, RBI number 65. And that's going to do it for Guidry. He's going to go 7+. And he will give up 6 hits and 4 runs. They were earned. He's going to walk 2 and strike out 6. And Tim Stoddard is on, the right-hander, to face these tough right-handed hitting Blue Jays coming up. We'll get the numbers on Stoddard. See how he's doing on the replay versus real world. So Tim Stoddard, real world, 4-3 with a 350 earned run average. He also garnered 8 saves on the 87 season. On the replay, 6-4 with 1 save and a 3.21 ERA. 53 innings pitched, 43 hits, 14 walks, 51 strikeouts. Stoddard is a +4 hold, so that's not good. And he'll be facing Jesse Barfield in what is now a 6-4 ball game. 1-8 for Barfield. That's a single to center field. Now the tying runs at the plate in George Bell. Whoop, that really got messed up there, didn't it? Let's try it this way. 6-6, and against a right-hander, he struck him out. Make sure you can see that. Got a little cut off there. There we go. 6-6 is a strikeout. So Bell down on strikes. And that'll send up Cecil Fielder, although Fielder will be called back. They're going to go to the left-handed hitting side of that platoon at DH, and that's going to mean that we go to – actually, they're not going to go to the crime dog. They're going to go to Rick Leach. He's got a better average. So Rick Leach will pinch hit for Fielder and stay in the game as the DH. Rick Leach. And we'll get the numbers on Leach. Fielder, a good hitter, but against right-handers, he's kind of neutralized. So they will go to the lefty Rick Leach. And on the replay, Leach is hitting .308, 2 homers, 9 driven in. He hit .282 real world. Runner at first, 1 out. Stoddard to Leach. So 110 for Leach, and he gets hit by the pitch. So how about that? You come into pinch hit, and you get plunked. I don't think he had that on his bingo card. But first and second. And now some NA person, whoever the hell that is calling in. So I'm just getting all kinds of stuff here. I got more engagement on my phone than I got in the chat, I think. That's a sad state of affairs that the spam phone call world is that dominant. All right, at least in my phone for whatever reason. Here's Gruber. Now they're going to pinch hit with Gruber or for Gruber with Rance Mulliniks. So Mulliniks will come in and hit for Gruber. Rance Mulliniks. Toronto trying to pull out all the stops here. And they will bring in Mulliniks. First and second, one out. I suppose so, Ben. I suppose so. I guess they could do enough robocalls. They'll figure somebody will answer. All right, so Mulliniks, the pinch hitter, and Mulliniks on the replay is hitting 362, 8 homers, 26 driven in, at 310 real world. So let's see what Stoddard can do with Mulliniks. 5-8, and that's a fly ball to right field, and that's 2 down. That's going to bring up Orge, but they won't. They'll pinch hit for Orge as well. And this one we will have the crime dog, Fred McGriff. He will pinch hit. And then Manny Lee will come in and play second base for Orge. So McGriff is your pinch hitter here in the 8th. And then Manny Lee will take over at second base in the 9th. Fred McGriff, the crime dog. Will pinch hit for Orge. And this will leave Ernie Witt as the only bench player remaining. And Witt would probably hit for more if it got to that this inning. So McGriff is going to step in as a pinch hitter in a clutch situation, first and second, 2 outs. In the clutch for McGriff, he loses a hit on 3-2. That is it. McGriff on the replay hitting 261, 12 homers, 21 driven in, at 247 real world. Try not to hit the table so much, but that just seems to happen more than I want. All right. So here is Mr. McGriff. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Stoddard. Have to go to the computer for that. Stoddard, his wild pitch rating is of 6. His balk rating is a 0, so there is no balk chance. So Stoddard will pitch it to McGriff. That's a 5-9, left-handed, struck him out. So Tim Stoddard comes through big time and puts the Blue Jays away. We go to the 9th. And, of course, the computer is telling me all these changes I have to make. So first things first, Mulliniks in at third base where he belongs. We'll bring in Manny Lee to play second and bat in the 7th position. So now you have Manny Lee playing second base. And you have Mulliniks here, and you have Leach as the DH. All right. Top of the 9th. And we are looking. Well, first of all, the Yankees are going to be bringing in Righetti in the 9th. But the Jays, do they stick with Lavelle? He only faced 3 batters, but he does have righties coming up. I guess they'll stick with Lavelle. He will stay in there to face Kittle here in the top of the 9th of a 6-4 ball game. But Righetti is losing the Yankee bullpen. Would come in the 9th, so Stoddard's going to go 1 inning. And let's see, he gives up a hit. No runs. No walks, 2 strikeouts. He did hit a batter. All right, so Ron Kittle to lead off the top of the 9th. 2-7. Yankees looking for insurance, and that's a single for Ron Kittle. Leadoff single for Kittle. That'll bring up Rick Cerrone. Lavelle to Cerrone. Oh, that got hung up there, so let's read that. There we go. 4-8, and that's a walk. So now Lavelle in trouble. First and second with nobody out for Pagliarulo. And now righty Eichhorn in the Blue Jay bullpen is loosening. And let's see here about Pagliarulo. See what he can do. 5-10, lefty. That's a fly ball. I'm sorry, 5-10 is ground ball third base X. I was looking at 6-10. Third base X. That is Mullenix. Mullenix is a 4E31 at third base. 4 and a 5. That's probably going to get through for a hit. Let's see here. 4 and a 5 is a single 1 star. It's going to load the bases. He's an E31, though, so this could be a problem as well. 10, 11, 15, 10, 11, 14, 15, and 18. And that is a 13. So somehow he managed to dodge that. At 10, 11, 14, 15, and 18, and he managed to find a 13 and get around it somehow. So he doesn't make the error, but it does load the bases with nobody out. And that's going to be it for Lavelle. He will leave, and they will bring on Mark Eichhorn. Mark Foghorn Eichhorn will be coming in. Computer's telling me Lavelle is tired, but I was taking him out anyway. So we are going to Eichhorn. Leaves Tom Hinkie as the only bullpen arm left for Toronto. Eichhorn, look at his numbers. Real world and replay. Eichhorn is 10-6, or was 10-6 with a 3.17 earned run average. He also had 4 saves. On the replay, he's 1-1 with 1 save and a 3.61 earned run average. 52 innings pitched, 46 hits, 20 walks, and 42 strikeouts. And he will be facing Wayne Tollison with the bases loaded and nobody out. Infield is in. They really can't afford to give up any more runs. So the infield is in. That's a 1-9, and that's the ground ball first base B, so they'll get the force at the plate 3-2. Everybody else will move up. Fielder's choice, they do get the lead dog, as Upshaw will throw it to the catcher Moore. Base is still loaded. 1 out now for Ricky. And I don't think you can trust Ricky to hit into a double play here. Although, you know what? They're going to play back for the double play. There's some pluses on Ricky's card. They don't like that matchup either. So they're going to hope they can turn 2 or get him to pop it up or strike him out, one or the other. 2-8 for Ricky. And that's a walk, so it didn't matter. He walks in a run. That run is charged to Mr. Lavelle. Scoring is Cerrone. Pagliarulo trots to third, Tollison to second, and Ricky to first. Walks in a run. Makes it now a 7-4 game. And if they score again, Guidry may not appear. I'm sorry, Rigetti may be down. Let's see. Here's Randolph. They are playing the infield in. They don't trust the double play with Randolph. They're playing the infield in. 2-8, and that is, it does not, may not matter. 1-19 is a single. And 18 is still going to be a base hit, 1 star. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Scoring is Pags. That run is charged to Lavelle as well. We can close the book on Lavelle. He gives up 2 runs. And they were earned. Forgot to write an Eichhorn down here. And now that brings up Mattingly. Bases are loaded. Still only one out. Now the infield will play back for a double play for Mattingly. He is a double play candidate. So they're going to hope to turn a double play. 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. They got a chance. Fernandez is a 1. So if he can get a 5 or higher, he's looking at a G1 for a double play. And that's certainly higher. So now 17's the error he's got to avoid. So he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17. If he can do that, it's a double play to end the inning. Whoa, that white die didn't go through. Oh, the red die didn't go through. And there's no 15, 16, or 17. So it will be a Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you have any tailoring needs and you're in the area, stop by to see them. They will give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. So we'll go to the Strat computer and get the final numbers on Lavelle. See how he did. Lavelle, 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. And now, the fact that it's no longer a save situation, they're going to keep Stoddard in the game, actually. Stoddard will come back out and pitch. Righetti's still loose in the bullpen in case Stoddard stutters a bit and gives up a couple runners. But right now, Stoddard will stay out there to try to accumulate the save. Be facing Upshaw, and then almost certainly Ernie Witt will pinch hit for Upshaw. He's the last man on the bench for the Blue Jays. He will pinch hit in the 9th for Charlie Moore. So we get Ernie Witt, grab his card, wherever that is. It's in here somewhere. There he is. Ernie Witt. We get rid of Charlie Moore. So we have Upshaw, Witt, and Fernandez, your scheduled hitters for the Jays, against Mr. Stoddard. 4-8, lefty, and that's a base hit 1-6. Line out 7-20. And he's going to line it to second baseman Randolph, 1 away. 1 down for the pinch hitter Ernie Witt. He is the last one on the bench. That empties the Blue Jay bench. They have nobody left in the bench, and the only guy left in the bullpen is, well, there's 2 of them, Musselman and Hinkie. Only 2 left. So here's Ernie Witt. He is pinch hitting. Ernie Witt on the replay is hitting .263. 7 homers, 27 driven in. He had .269 real world. Stoddard, 5-8. It's a fly ball to right, 2 down. And it's all up now to Tony Fernandez. Last chance for the Jays. 1-7 for Fernandez, and that's a double. 1-3, single 4-20. So the game will continue on a single for Tony Fernandez. That'll bring up Lloyd Mosby. Mosby homered his last time up. 4-7. That's another single. Base hit. And now they will be, even though it's a lefty-righty matchup, they're going to bring in Righetti to get that last out. They gave Stoddard every opportunity to get a save. Didn't work out. He gives up 3 base hits. And we'll see what Righetti can do. With 2 outs, he's got to face Jesse Barfield. Tying run is now on deck, which by rule, even though I hate the rule, by rule it qualifies as a save. I think it's a cheap save, but them's the rules. Don't make the rules. I just play by them. All right, see you later, Mr. Jeremiah. So Righetti trying to get this final out. Righetti on the real season was, if I can get the focus right. Come on, get up here for me. Come on, you can do it. Why are you having trouble focusing all of a sudden? There we go. 8-6, 3.51 ERA. So 8-6 with a 3.51 ERA. And of course, 31 saves. That's the real world number. On the replay, Rigetti, 3-3 with 16 saves and a 3.92 ERA. 44 innings pitched, 42 hits, 14 walks, 29 strikeouts. He will be facing Barfield. Clutch situation for Barfield. In the clutch, he loses a hit on the 2-7. Rigetti going for the 17th save. 2-8 and out to end the ball game. So Rigetti comes in, faces one batter, gets his 17th save, and the Yankees win it 8-4 over the Blue Jays. 8 runs, 12 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Blue Jays. And we'll go to the box score and get the totals and get you ready for tomorrow's game. So the Yankees with the win go to 43-34. Toronto drops to 46-29. Yankees left 13 on base. Blue Jays only left 8 on base. The win goes to Ron Guidry. He is now 2-2. The loss to Wells, 0-1. Eichhorn, to finish him off, he went 1 inning. And let's see here, Nunez, 3. I don't know why I have him for 3 1/3. It should be just 3. We'll snap there on the box score, I guess. 3 innings for Nunez. All right, so 1 inning for Eichhorn, a hit, no runs, walk, no strikeouts. Player of the game, I guess. Boy, you can give it to Ricky Henderson. He was 2 for 3 with a stolen base. Couple of runs scored. He certainly would be a candidate. Winfield was 1 for 2. He did walk twice. Actually walked 3 times, 1 intentionally. But his 2-run homer in the first gave him a 2-0 lead. So there's lots of guys there. Ron Kittle, 3 for 5. All kinds of different people you could possibly give the player of the game to. You can make your own decision there. Yankees win it 8-4. We look ahead tomorrow. And tomorrow, looking at the schedule for tomorrow, we will be in the heart of Texas. It'll be the Seattle Mariners taking on the Texas Rangers. Mark Langston for the Seattle Mariners and Mike Tenderloin on the mound for the Texas Rangers. So Seattle and Texas tomorrow, and then we'll have Detroit, Milwaukee on Friday. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, whatever you have planned. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play. However you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.